So the big question is this: how are leaders like you that recognize people and technology are the backbone of the company they're building continue to make progress when they have no clear idea on how to develop individuals and utilize technology in a way that helps them remain profitable? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. This is Tom and Michaela, and welcome to the Heart and Hustle Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Heart and Hustle Podcast. Today I surprised you, didn't I?
You did.
I did. How do you like my hat? I'm sporting my hat again.
I like you in your hat.
I like my hat.
I like it.
I like the first one better though.
I know. Damn dogs.
Damn dogs. Get my hat. Best hat ever. Had it back for 2 days and the damn dog chewed it up.
Yeah, it was bad.
Then we had to order another one and it took like 2 weeks to get here.
I know.
I think did it get lost the first time?
I think they wrote the address down wrong.
They did write the address down
and
wrong.
It got
That's
sent back
right.
to them. Yep.
That critical thinking skills that you have there. Anyways, let's jump back into the show. So the last podcast we did, we kind of got in this whole QA mindset, and we get like probably not a lot, probably anywhere from between 10 to 20 questions a week of just like with random viewers of questions hit me up on text or email or chat and just saying, hey, listen, I have a question over this. What is your answer? And oftentimes I'll answer them, I'll come back, but then I figure, you know what? I'm just going to wait, hold these back for the podcast, and we're going to talk through some of this stuff. Kind of see how we volley this stuff back and forth. So no idea. These are random questions. We kind of threw them out there. I literally copied and pasted them from email and threw them into a notepad. And so I have them here. I have not read them. I have not gone through them. So here we go. You ready?
I guess so. It makes me a little nervous.
I think it's wonderful. Question number 1, and hopefully Victoria, ding, Victoria. I hope you're going to post this upline so everybody can see it. So anyways, I recently graduated. So how do I get a job in a company that wants experience? Oh, this is a good one.
Those are hard because I know. I remember being there. Do you remember being there? You applied for a job and you didn't get it because you didn't have the experience, but you couldn't get the experience because you didn't have any experience.
I always had the looks though, so I got the job.
Please. Next.
So anyways, if you recently graduated from college, or probably college is what they're saying.
Yeah, probably.
And they want a job, but they don't have experience, what should they do? As an HR professional, when you're reading through resumes, and I'm kind of going pre-pandemic here. Let's go pre-pandemic. Let's go back 2019.
Okay.
2018, you're reading through resumes and you have the qualifications needed for that position, which were probably arbitrarily made up anyways by some person.
Okay.
How does one go about obtaining a position when they don't have any real world experience, but they graduated with a degree, quote unquote, in a field at which they want to be working in?
Well, there's a couple different ways to go about that, I think, depending on your scenario and what you're after, but there are always volunteer opportunities. There are always internships. There are always volunteer opportunities. Plus, do you have a better answer?
Yes.
Go for it.
No, I'm going to listen to you first.
Okay. Plus, you kind of have to be willing to start at the bottom sometimes.
That is I will agree with you. That is an issue. People come in
They
straight out of
wanna-
college.
yeah,
they want to be a manager and $100,000 a year starting.
Yep.
You see that a lot, I'm sure.
I see that a lot. Yep, they want to get in, they want to make the big bucks, but they have very little experience. And I know, like, even a lot of high school kids are coming out of high school, and they don't want to work fast food. They don't want to work at a grocery store because they should be making big money doing X, Y, or Z. And they're watching these influencers. I love that word, influencers. Making huge amounts of money. They're making, they're seeing these kids, adults open up internet stores and they're hearing how much these people are making and they expect to walk into a job and make huge amounts of money overnight. And it just doesn't work that way most of the time.
Yeah. I think, first of all, when people graduate from college, they're doing it for one of two reasons. Either they have to because they want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher or somebody that is required by some sort of law in order to have, they have to have a degree in order to do that. But if you're literally in school for business management or marketing, drop out now. Like there's absolutely zero reason for college at this point inside of a lot of different fields. Typically people are going to college because mommy and daddy want them to go to college, or that they feel that they'll let mom and dad down if they don't go to college. But the reality is
or
that
society in general. I mean, they start asking you in school in 7th grade what you want to be when you grow up and what college you're going to go to. And they start pushing for applications to schools in junior high. So it's
Devin,
kind of an expectation.
Devin, one of the guys that we hired, he graduated from a trade school, and I think it was a 2 or 3 year program he came from, and he went to school for technology, I guess. And but he was doing a job as a videographer for a wedding company inside of the state of Nebraska, and we hired him based on those skills. I mean, and not that he's doing anything with. I mean, he's doing some video stuff for us. He's doing a wonderful job. But his goal is that of a systems admin. And when we hired him, we wanted him to document his day and his process over what he was doing every day. And, they're starting that process, and I think they're doing a really good job with it. But it's just like, these kids that are coming out of school at 22 years old, they need to put their head down and not worry about it. So, and if you don't have experience, or if your end all game is you want to be an accountant, and you went to 4 years or 5 years or 7 years of accounting school, and you want to become a CPA, then there's nothing else to do but probably intern with somebody, get a job somewhere in the accounting realm inside of corporate accounting or inside of a business, or maybe work for several nonprofits if you want to do that. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to work up that ladder. You're going to have to start at zero and work up. And just like if you were going to be an accounting entrepreneur and you want to own the accounting space within a certain region, you got to have clients and you got to have clout. And you're going to start at, probably like the last episode, you're going to start getting some clients at the very low end of the spectrum and kind of building your way up until you can build a certain point to charge enough money to make a living at it. Otherwise, you're going to be an intern, man. Just start out and work. Mm-hmm. But by large, on the whole, I hate using that phrase. Don't expect to get out of college and make $100,000 a year and be a senior leader inside of a company. It's going to take a lot of years, a lot of
takes
work.
A lot of hard work. Yep.
So I don't know. That's my answer.
Takes experience to get experience.
You do. I went to college for this, and I can show you what to do. Bull crap. I got 42 years on you, kid. We're going to show you what to do. It was kind of funny. I was even working on a few things the other night for a client, and it was one of those things where you had this lapse. Like, you remember 15 years ago when I was presented with something very similar, and this guy that was this corporate IT senior managing IT partner member person, whatever the job titles were back in the day. I remember him saying something, and I kind of brushed him off. But you know what? 15 years later, it's like, now I sound like him.
What did he say?
It was something about cost. Like, it was something to do around cost. And, when you buy something, say you're going to buy a server, and it costs, say $8,000. And the company says, how much does that cost? And just those words is just like, it doesn't cost $8,000. Yes, the physical hardware costs this much money, but there's a lot of other costs that go into effect with running this equipment. When you talk about labor and maintenance and monitoring and just everything. And so when people look at it, they look at the cost of ownership, and they get it wrong every time. So bandwidth was another one that he went off on one time. I said, hey, let's just buy more bandwidth and we'll get, 100 meg internet connection back in the day. And he said, internet's like a dog eating dog food. You can put as much there as you want, but people are just going to gobble it back up again. So great, get a gigabit internet. That's great. It'll be saturated within a month. Put a,
You see that all the time.
Yeah. So it is what it is there. So, but yeah, so it was kind of funny. You look back in those days. So
Yeah.
anyways, work. That's the answer. Mm-hmm. Don't have high expectations. I won't say it.
Next question.
Next question. Oh, geez, I got my hat on today, and my phone is not doing the Face ID thing. Have you ever made a business decision that messed up your friendship and relationship with someone?
You want to answer that one?
I'll let you start first.
I don't think we made a business decision that messed up the friendship. I think there were reactions to decisions made, perhaps, that messed up that relationship.
Long pause. Business decisions that messed up a friendship. Yes, 100%. And I think that's okay.
Explain. Or not.
So, for those of you that know me and understand who I am, I have some really strong ethics when it comes to protecting client data and protecting environments, security, and everything else as it relates to my customers. I shouldn't say that word, as it relates to clients or partners that we deal with. And I have had probably over the course of a decade or so, a couple individuals that have worked with me in the past. They worked on our team. You know, they were employees, I guess, for lack of better terms, and they messed up. I found out that they were stealing from the company. They were, potentially stealing from clients. They were taking passwords or confidential data that they shouldn't have. And by God, I have triggers set in every corner of our world. So if somebody does try to download this data, if somebody does try to get access to it, every alarm starts blinking everywhere inside my world. So we know within seconds of someone trying to obtain this information. And it's happened a couple times where the geek thinks that he or she wants to go in business for themselves and compete with the man and compete with the company which is employing them. And these people are called friends. You've gone to dinner with them, their families, you've worked with them, you grew up with them over the past several years or maybe 10 years, and they're working with you and they do this. So the answer is yes. I made a business decision to fire his rear and get out of him. And did that have effects on the company? Yeah. False reviews, false this, and they got upset, they got butthurt because something happened, and so now I made a business decision based on ethics to fire someone, and that person then would end up retaliating against the company and retaliating against me personally, and to the fact that there are just so much hatred out there, rumors and lies and rumors, and quite frankly, I don't give a crap. I look back now and laugh, but there's also been business decisions I've made of firing clients. That's have a negative effect on us, on morale. We've made decisions on not doing business with somebody, or maybe to do business with somebody, and that somebody alienated certain employees that we had because maybe they didn't like that company or they didn't like that person or whatnot. So there's been multiple decisions. I think it's inevitable at that point where I think all business owners are going to make a decision that not everybody is always happy with.
Yeah, you can't make everybody happy in business, for sure.
How about you? Have you ever said something to a friend or maybe someone that you knew that ended up hurting the business or being a bad decision? And you can say no.
Yeah. I mean, nothing. Again, I go back to decisions were made that were probably misunderstood or misinterpreted and taken in a certain way.
Right.
But you can't control that. You can't control what everybody thinks or what everybody believes.
But I was told once you made someone feel like a certain way.
You were told that I made somebody feel a certain way?
No, not you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You made me feel this way. That was like literally like my entire life.
I saw you kind of like glaze over there for a minute.
You made me feel angry. Damn you. Now you're in trouble for making me feel this way.
Well, that happens a lot.
Crazy. So yes. Next.
Yes. Next.
Last question. I think we're going to cut this one short because those kind of go off. Oh boy. Take a drink first, will you?
What is it?
Pineapple and ginger.
Pineapple ginger.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what that is. You're asking about the question.
I'm asking about the question.
Question. How do I help my employees develop critical thinking and take ownership of what they are doing? How do I let my How do I let my employees develop critical thinking and take ownership?
When somebody figures out that answer, they can give us a call.
I think we have some good answers for that.
Yeah. The struggle remains.
How do you help them? It's not saying how do you fix the situation. How do you help them? I mean, you're obviously a critical thinker. Mm-hmm. You are a very critical thinker when it comes down to it. Your processing skills have really increased over the past few years. You have really matured in your processing skills.
Wow,
it used to take
really?
you like days to process something. Now it's getting you down to hours.
That's not very nice.
No, it's a compliment.
It's a compliment?
It's a compliment. No, but honestly, you know, and I do mean it as a compliment. I know where you're going with that, with saying that's not very nice. But I think as I have gotten older, and the more that I've known you, you're able to process at a much faster rate. And then maybe that's just because of knowledge and experience that you've gained that knowledge over time, so therefore you can process faster because you already know what the outcome is going to be.
Perhaps.
Someone, and I see you in meetings all the time where someone's talking about something and you look bored or frustrated because you know what they're going to say. It's like you've already checked out. It's like you know what Jane's going to say to you, and you're just waiting for her to get to the punchline or to the story so you can start talking. But you're seeing it coming from a mile away down the street, and as soon as it wraps that corner, you pounce on them like a freaking tiger or lioness or whatever it is.
I think you can probably wrap this back around to the first question. I think a lot of it comes with experience. You know, those critical thinking skills, and what was the other part of the question? The critical thinking skills and... How
do I help my employees develop critical thinking skills and taking ownership?
Okay, that's two different topics.
It is. Taking ownership, I think you're either born with it. I'm sorry. I think you can be born with traits for owning something. I really think you can, because you're going to take initiative to do what you want to do. On the other hand, I think there's a lot of people that have had really bad parents or parents that have failed them in life because they did every single thing for them. Therefore, they don't know how to...
Not even that. I mean, it's society as a whole. We are always passing the buck and not taking responsibility.
We are. We're blaming somebody else. Well,
yeah.
You didn't do this for me, so I'm not going to do it for you.
Yeah. I mean, we see that day in and day out where people are passing the buck and passing the responsibility onto somebody else. And it is really hard to have those conversations with employees, with anybody, to say, own your shit. Like, people don't like to own their shit.
No, they're afraid to.
It's hard. And so there's two parts to that question, I feel. There's the critical thinking aspect of it, and there's the taking accountability aspect of it. And critical thinking, I mean, that's just a skill you have to develop in your trade. You have to, you have to know your stuff. You have to learn your stuff. You have to be able to think critically through a process. Mm-hmm. And that comes with age. It comes with experience. It comes with knowledge. It comes with all of those things.
I think,
and on the flip hand side, to that other conversation about taking accountability, I think it starts with I mean, lead by example. You know, more is caught than is taught. So you can say, take accountability for your stuff, take accountability for your stuff. But if you don't take accountability for your own stuff, how is that going to teach anybody to take accountability for their stuff?
I think critical thinking is not dead. I think critical thinking is dying with, and I shouldn't say this too loudly, but probably with our generation and maybe the generation after us. I think it's dying at that point. I think we're probably some of the last critical thinkers that are out there.
I think it's becoming rare.
I think it's becoming rare, and I'm not saying as a de facto standard that is the case.
No.
I'm saying percentage wise, because back when you actually had to actually read or write or do what I would consider things that took an exorbitant amount of time or effort to complete, because back when I went to, I had my job in IT, shipped in a car to Kansas, and I had to fix broken servers at 2:00 in the morning because the bank had to be up operational. There was no Google.
Right.
All there is troubleshooting and critical thinking. So you're mastering these skills because you don't have, Google at your fingertips here. You don't have the ability to text a buddy or to call a friend because it costs money for long distance, right? So you don't have those abilities to reach out and phone home. You don't have the ability to post something on a message board saying, hey, I ran into an issue. You literally are stuck in the middle of nowhere with a server that won't boot at 1:30 in the morning in Colby, Kansas at a bank, and the bankers start at 8:00 the next morning and it's got to be up. You do not have an option of going home and saying, well, I didn't get it. So therefore, you have to troubleshoot your way out of there. You got to develop those skills, and those critical thinking skills are germinated. Is that the right word?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Those critical they're fostered out of those environments in which you really are, you put yourselves into. Well, nowadays with Google and everything else, you don't have to critically think about anything. You just Google the freaking answer.
Yep. Or you're told what to think. I mean, on, IT related stuff aside, you're flipping through constantly and told what to think. You're being fed information constantly.
Yeah.
And it's hard for people to step back and just think. It's hard for people to read 2 whole paragraphs without having to go back and reread because their mind is all over the place, because you're used to 3-word sentences where you're just image. I mean,
I think what we should do, like in our company, just as a test for 2 weeks, I bet we'd lose like 50% of our employees, and that would not be good. But for a test for 2 weeks, we're going to have the phone shelf, and we're going to put the phone shelf up on the wall. And when you come into work every day, you have to put your phone on the phone shelf, which is going to be in a separate room.
And then you'd have to go back to your desk and
you have to work.
Yeah.
Because people can't critically think anymore. Like, you cannot put your phone away for 3 hours and just work and troubleshoot something and get to the point where I'm stuck on something, therefore I'm just going to figure this thing out. But so many people, okay, new tab, Google, hop on the phone, Reddit, or whatever they want to do, or post something. So they don't have the ability to critical think because there's too much surrounding them, like you said, of distractions, of having everybody have to have the easy way out.
Well, yeah, that alone. I mean, you're trying to find an answer, but while you're trying to find that answer, while you're trying to Google something for 10 minutes, you're getting texts, you're getting emails, you're getting DMs, you're getting Instagram notices, you're getting
inundated,
distracted
all day,
all the time, constantly. It's so hard to concentrate some days.
Yep. Hence, we bought these Remarkables.
I know.
It's and now really here, nice. And like, I was using mine the other day. It's like, okay, I'm going to be a studious person. I'm going to sit down with mine. I'm going to start writing, and whoosh, whoosh, this sounds really, really cool. However, what do I have to write about? I'm like forcing myself to write something like a list, thinking I already have it memorized. I already know what I'm thinking about. Why do I have to write this thing down? Because I just memorized my list. I've never had to write things down in the past, but now I do because I got a Remarkable. So what do I write down? What should I write this thing for? What should I use this thing for? Do I want to look cool? They are nice.
Are you going to use it?
I don't know. I traced my hand the other day and made a turkey.
Whatever. I like it. I'm a list person though. Even
You're-
if I
you're
have
what?
even if I have stuff in my head, I like to write
But you
things down.
journal.
I haven't really journaled in a long time, but I miss it.
How many years did you journal for?
Off and on most of my life. But I haven't journaled in
Can we share
3
some of the
years.
journals on this podcast?
No, I threw them away.
They're all thrown away?
Uh-huh.
Oh. I'd love to read them.
Don't come back and read those.
so mad that night. He left a toilet paper roll on her backwards.
No.
Is it front or backwards? Which way does it go?
I don't really care. I think people who think about that have way too much time on their hand, or they're just way too anal. Which, let's talk about some of your Instagram posts like the last couple of days and,
Mine?
and the lines. It cracks
Oh,
me up.
Shit, man.
It cracks me up. We're so weird. We're so weird.
There is this fetish that I have, post the pictures and show, but I've always enjoyed vacuum lines.
Love me some carpet lines.
But now since in this place, it's like we don't want to walk on the carpet now because there's carpet lines.
We're like hopping across the room.
We're
so we
hopping
don't
across the lines so we don't fuck up the lines.
Wow.
And then I'm mowing.
We need to get a life.
And now I'm mowing patterns because I like the lines.
Yeah. I think one of your friends commented, I think she thinks you're a little bit weird.
KQ's always thought I've been a little bit weird, but I love KQ. She owns the Kennel Inn. If
We
you
are
haven't-
weird, though.
If
I
you
fully
haven't been up
admit.
to the Kennel Inn, they're wonderful people.
Yeah.
So
Kennel Inn rocks. But I do admit that is a little bit weird. Like, who obsesses over their carpet lines and their lawn mowing lines? I don't know who else does that, but it is a little weird. But that's okay. It feels nice. It's clean. It's just
it's not weird.
okay. We're weird, but that's okay.
Anyways, I think that's all we're going to cover tonight.
Yeah, probably.
We're just going to end it, I think, right here.
Probably a good idea.
And this hat, again, just does not do this Face ID very well. Yeah. And taking ownership, parting words, you're going to own your shit or you're not. If you're not going to own your shit, just bow out. If you are going to own your shit, then step up, own it,
Yeah.
and own it. Because it's going to do nothing but take you so much farther in your life than not owning it.
It's hard on everybody around you when you don't own your shit, too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay.
Questions, comments, keep sending them in. Literally, I got dozens and dozens. And so we're going to turn this into a show where we're going to have some fun. And hopefully we're going to introduce a third person here soon to... Oh, that third person. We're going to introduce a third person to kind of talk about the questions and, ask us in real time too. So
Okay. Can't wait.
I know. Catch you guys later.
Bye.
There you go.
Golden
Dax just ended.
doodles.
Yeah, golden doodle or
Yeah.
ending the conversation. All right. See you guys later. Bye.